Welcome to It's Not Just Money, Honey, compensation and negotiation facts and tips for alums. As a mid career professional, possibly looking to pivot to a different career, different industry, or different company, you might ask yourself, are you in a position to negotiate? I say, yes, you are. And you can achieve some success. Remember, negotiation is actually expected. It's not just about how to negotiate, but mustering the courage to do so. Remember the value that you provide. Part of that negotiation process is communicating the value that you provide a company. So, yes, negotiate and achieve success. The overwhelming majority of companies in the private sector give pay raises, whether those are performance based, promotional based, or simple cost of living increases. Many of you who are looking to change careers and or change industries or companies have probably experienced all of these types of salary increases. Many have been performance based, some hopefully based on promotion, as well as simple cost of living or as what we know and call COLA. Let's take a deeper look at the long-term as well as the short-term impacts of your starting salary. Many of you who might be considering changing careers, going into different sectors, different industries, or with different companies, have had experience negotiating salary. For many of you, it may have been a long time since you negotiated your very first salary. But you can see here that the importance of negotiating salary can have tremendous long-term impacts throughout the entire life cycle of one's career. In this example, you can see that there's a $600,000 difference over the course of a 40-year career. In many places, this is the value equivalent to 2 homes. So it's clear that it's worth negotiating every time, even when you're switching careers. So let's take a deeper dive into the importance of negotiating salary. Even if we look at someone who's newly entering the workforce and take a 40-year look, let's assume they stay with the same company, even though we know today that's a rarity. But let's just use this as an example. Assuming both of these individuals, John comes in and only negotiates a $50,000 salary starting right out the gate. Joan, on the other hand, was able to negotiate $55,000 as a starting salary. Same job, same position. And let's just assume, for argument's sake, neither one of them get promoted, right? But let's just assume that they both earn an annual COLA or cost of living allowance or increase at the rate of 3% annually. Look over the lifespan when you take into account their starting salaries and their annual 3% cost of living increases, the differences in their salaries. Once again, just using this example, over the course of their 40-year career, there was a difference of $360,000. This is equivalent to the price of a reasonably sized home, as I said before. So once again, when we're talking about our potential career changes, as many of you might be, negotiating salary at the beginning of your career and throughout your career is important. Don't be shy, don't be bashful about communicating your value to a potential employer. Your ability to negotiate salary successfully depends on a number of factors. First and foremost, communicating and illustrating the value that you provide.
As we mentioned, this is all about compensation negotiation, not simply salary negotiation. One of the facets of your compensation package is the benefits portion. Within benefits, there's a multitude of different elements you can negotiate. Here is a list of some of those options. For example, maybe you could not get to your ideal starting salary, but you are able to negotiate one additional week of paid time off. And the company offers full tuition reimbursement. At this point in your career, you might be looking to go on to get a master's degree or an advanced certificate. Those additional benefits could balance out your compensation package to get you to what you are looking for in total, even if you can't get that ideal starting salary.
Hi, Stephanie. Hope you had an enjoyable weekend.
I did, thank you. I got to enjoy the beautiful weather and go for a hike. I hope you had a great weekend too.
I did as well. Thank you very much. My family and I got to do some spring cleaning, which was much needed. But I'm calling you to let you know that we would like to officially offer you the position of Senior Data Analyst.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll offer you a starting salary of $70,000. Your benefits package will be explained in further detail by Human Resources should you accept the offer. But I can give you a brief overview. You'll receive 2 weeks of paid time off, medical, dental, and vision insurance. Additionally, the company match for our 401k is 50%, match up to 6%.
Thank you for providing me with this information. Do you mind if I take a couple of days and get back to you with my decision by Wednesday at noon?
Sure, of course. If you have any questions in the meantime, I'll be happy to help.
Great, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you as well.
Hi, Rob. I am following up from our phone call on Monday. I am very interested in this position. However, I am wondering if there is room for negotiation.
Hi, Stephanie. What did you have in mind?
As far as base salary is concerned, I am looking for $80,000.
Okay, I'll have to check with our Human Resources department and get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you. Around when can I expect to hear back?
You should have an answer for you by Friday. I'll give you a call.
Great. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well. Hi, Stephanie. I heard back from our Human Resources department. We're able to offer you 75, but that's the highest we can go for this position.
Thank you for getting back to me on this. Based on market research I have done, 80,000 is the average for this location and position. If 75,000 is the highest you can go with the base salary, is it possible to get an extra 2 days of vacation time per year?
You know what? We can do that.
Oh, that's great. I would like to officially accept your offer then.
Wonderful. That's great. I'll communicate this back to Human Resources, and they'll be in touch with you regarding your benefit details. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me.
Thank you. I look forward to my start on October 22nd.
Great. We're looking forward for your start as well. Look forward to seeing you then on October 22nd.
Great. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well.
We are now going to go into the portion of the presentation regarding tips on how to properly negotiate your case. The first tip you want to remember is to try your hardest to be the second person to speak. If you volunteer a salary you think you will be happy with, you have automatically given up any negotiation power. If you give a salary that is too low, you could possibly lose thousands of dollars over your career. Too high? They might go with another candidate that they can afford. If you are asked what you want for salary, simply respond with, "I know what I'd like to make, but I'm excited about working with you. What's your budget?" Then they'll respond with an opening number giving you an idea of what range is reasonable. Tip number 2. Always make sure to do your research. Prior to your interview, research the starting salaries for the position, industry, and the company you are interested in. Just because one industry offers a certain salary for the type of position you are going for in a different industry does not necessarily mean those salaries will match up. When the potential employer tells you the initial offer, compare it against what you know is fair and standard in the industry. Then use that comparison to formulate your counteroffer. Always make sure to research your market value.
For many of you, maybe you've been in the same job, same company for many years, and now you're in the process of changing careers for whatever the reason is. So maybe you're a little rusty in negotiating salary. Maybe you're a little rusty with the interview process. But I can say assuredly to you, regardless whether you're interviewing for a potential job opportunity, career changing opportunity, and or negotiating for salary, confidence is key. One of the most important things you can do is to exude confidence during a negotiation process. And we're not just talking about salary negotiation, we're talking about compensation negotiation. As you know, that involves salary and all related benefits. Body language is key because body language telegraphs who you are and what you're thinking. It's a physical representation of yourself and is important as what you say. The more confident you are during the interview, the more potential value your employer will perceive. Make sure you make eye contact. Ask follow-up questions for each question you're asked. Use confident body language. Make sure to take your time, breathe, and smile. Speak slower than you normally would, and avoid oversharing or babbling, no matter how much work experience you have. Interviewing and or compensation negotiation doesn't always come natural to everyone. And it goes without saying that you might be a bit nervous. And that's why it's important that you slow down your speech and breathe and take your time. By breathing deeply and slowing down, you'll be able to keep yourself talking at a normal pace. It helps deal with your nervousness and helps to make sure that you're not speaking too quickly, oversharing, or babbling. Here we go. Back to that good old value proposition. As you can tell, I love talking about value and value proposition. Employers always want to know, what's your value add? What are you bringing to the position and in the organization that tells them that they need to bring you onto their team? Be sure to highlight your accomplishments and how they add value to the organization. Make sure you speak to your leadership roles, whether within your career or even extracurricular activities that you may have been engaged in. Maybe you sit on the board of different nonprofits. Maybe you sit on church boards. Any of those experiences, whether within your career or outside of your career, can communicate transferable skills and experiences that are a value add to any organization. Make sure you work in your knowledge of current events into your interview and your compensation negotiations, as long as it's relevant to the position you're seeking and the company. It shows that you're keeping up with current trends and understand the impacts of those current trends on the industry and the company that you're trying to gain employment with.
Tip number 5 is, for most of us, pretty difficult. You have to be patient. Let the interview progress at a natural pace. Wait for the interviewer to bring up compensation, which might not even happen until a second or even a third or fourth meeting. If you feel it is time to discuss compensation, start by asking about work-life benefits and company culture. The interviewer will likely mention some of their wellness benefits and other perks for employees. From there, it's an easy segue into core benefits like health insurance and retirement plans. After that, you can get down to the actual salary. Tip number 6, aim high, but always remember to be reasonable. At some point, you will have to give a number. If you're successful in speaking second, it will be a counter offer to the initial salary the interviewer suggested. Figure out what you'd like to make and increase it by about 15 to 20%. For example, if the interviewer offers $60,000 and you know the average is $55,000, ask for $65,000. If you're speaking first and you know the average is $60,000, suggest $70,000. Maybe you'll get lucky. If you have to meet in the middle, it still increases your chances of starting with a salary you will be happy with. Always remember to run the numbers on your personal budget before thinking about salary. If what you accept is less than you can live on, you've made a huge mistake.
Research, research, research. Research is your ability to dig as deep as you can prior to your interview to find answers to the different questions you might be asked during an interview. Research is one of the best ways you can prepare for a compensation negotiation meeting. What are the goals of the department or team that you're looking to join? By knowing the goals of that department, that team, or that company, it's going to help you to figure out how to communicate the value that your experience and your skills can add to that team or department. Knowing the challenges that a company has can also give you an insight and indication to how your skills and your experiences can help that company meet those challenges. Also, what are the parts of your resume that are most attractive to a hiring team? Try to do a little recognizance, as I like to say, a little research on what a company is looking for, as well as that hiring team. And craft your resume. Don't lie. Don't stretch the truth. But take your skills and your experiences and craft your resume in a manner that will be attractive to that hiring team based on the needs they're looking to fill. Also, try to find out what projects is the company or your potential supervisor most invested in. What are they worried about? What do they take pride in? Knowing the projects that that company's involved in, knowing the projects that that company is interested in and fully invested in, can also give you an indication of how you could communicate value to them. Also, research can help you see how you can demonstrate that you're an excellent fit for their company culture. Research the company culture. Every organization has a culture. Research the culture of the company that you're looking to seek employment with, and speak to that culture not only through your resume, your interview, but also in compensation negotiation. For example, what's a short-term project you could come in and pitch during that compensation negotiation interview or meeting? That also might give you the ability to quickly show the value that you can provide that company. Remember, inserting evidence that you know the answers to these questions will firmly establish your value. Be ready to answer any of the questions that a hiring manager might pose to you during a compensation negotiation meeting. Let's talk a little bit about your salary pitch. Though similar to an elevator pitch, it's a little bit different. In this scenario, you're looking to make a case for earning the salary that you feel you most deserve, rather than getting an opportunity to have a conversation about career opportunities. Your salary pitch is an impactful speech you can deliver in the time it takes to share an elevator ride with a decision maker. Remember, no more than 30 to 45 seconds. Make sure to have a bullet list of why you're worth the salary and compensation you desire. Make sure to have the key points in your resume as well. Also, make sure to communicate what you know about the position and the company, as well as ways your life has demonstrated your value thus far. Next, write the most important, attractive, and relevant points from that list into a paragraph. Work on it, edit it down until it's sharp and compelling. Practice, practice, practice. Practice it in front of a mirror. Practice it with your friend, your significant other. But make sure you practice, practice, practice. And finally, familiarize yourself with the mission and vision statements of that company. And make sure that you can align your experience and skills with the values that that company holds dear.
Now we have our ninth and final tip. Consider the offer. After a firm offer is on the table, ask if you can consider it overnight. You should never make the decision right then and there. Compare it to some other opportunities, if possible, or just say you want to think it over. It demonstrates that you are willing to take the time to carefully think about important decisions. Employers approve of that. If you call back the next day saying you're interested, but would really like a 10% increase, the combination of those two factors will make that increase exponentially more likely, but not a guarantee. Here is a list of additional pieces of the compensation puzzle to consider when you are trying to determine if that next job is a good fit for you. If you cannot afford to live based on the compensation package you are being offered, that position most likely is not the right position for you.
So what's your BATNA? Do you know what your BATNA is? BATNA is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. It's an approach taken in any type of negotiation scenario. Compensation negotiation is no different. Knowing your best alternative to a negotiated agreement is key because it gives you the ability to know when you're willing to take an offer or to walk away from the negotiation. Yes, that's right. Even if you're looking to seal the deal with a potential career opportunity, even as a career changer, you have to be sure that the compensation that you're negotiating for meets your needs personally and financially, not just career-wise. So knowing your best alternative to a negotiated agreement is paramount to walking away with the compensation that best meets your needs. So let's look at an example here about knowing your BATNA. If Jane has two employment opportunities, one with the Acme company paying a salary of $75,000 a year, And then the other opportunity was XYZ company for 80,000. Jane really likes the Acme company, even though it pays less, but would like to see if they can meet her compensation requirement and goals. Remember, this is not just about salary, but total compensation. Sometimes benefits can outweigh salary, or in essence, benefits can bring you to a place where you might be willing to accept less money in salary because the benefits greatly outweigh any money that an organization could provide. Well, let's not say any. But in this example, a $5,000 difference may not be as a bigger chasm to overcome than one might think. So she wants to let them know that she has other offers, and some paying a better salary. Health benefits and retirement plans look to be about equal at both companies. But Jane seeks to negotiate more money. But the hiring manager at Acme states that he can't give Jane more than $75K. So she inquires about an additional week off for vacation, as well as educational benefits, because these things are very important to Jane. The hiring manager lets her know that she can get the additional week off as well as up to $10,000 towards her education. Jane was considering going back to get her MBA. When Jane does the math, even though Acme was not able to give her the same salary as XYZ company, the week off and the additional $10,000 towards her educational benefits greatly outweigh the $5,000 difference between Acme and XYZ company. Especially once having her MBA, it will position her for increased career growth and earnings. So let me ask you this. Did Jane know her BATNA? Do you know yours? Once again, your BATNA is going to be determined not only by the salary you seek, but by the other compensation negotiated benefits that you're looking to achieve. Sometimes the benefits can outweigh a difference in salary from one company to the other. Once again, it's all about what you can negotiate and what makes you comfortable. So, what's your walkaway number? What's your BATNA? Remember, your walkaway number is the number that lets you know you're willing to walk away from a potential job offer. Remember, that number is not solely dictated by salary. As we saw in Jane's example, the benefits that Acme Company was offering her made it acceptable for her to take $5,000 less from Acme than she was willing to take from XYZ Company. So think about the overall compensation package, salary and benefits, to determine if it's a good fit for you, if it's something that you're willing to accept or you're willing to walk away from. But once again, don't be afraid to have a walk away number.
Thank you for joining us during this presentation. Alumni who have graduated more than 5 years ago can contact Alumni Association for career questions and assistance. Their link can be found below.